Look at your life. Look at it. You're failing. You're falling behind. You're lying to yourself. You're soft. You wake up. You look in the mirror. You see a stranger. You see a coward. You see a quitter. It hurts, doesn't it? It should hurt. You promised you'd win. You promised him, but you lied. You chose sleep. You chose comfort. You chose the couch. Broke, average. That pain in your chest, that's your identity dying. That's your vision fading. You have no standards. You have no integrity. You are a talker. Everybody talks. The world is full of talkers, but you prove it. Stop crying about the consequences. Own them. You built this cage. Every no, you said to the gym. Later, you said to the work. That was a brick. You built your own prison. You want out. You want the life. You want the crown. Then you better listen, because the man you are right now, he can't go where we're going. He's too weak. He's too slow. Kill him today. Sit down. Shut up and lock in, because I'm about to show you the reaction that changes everything. You think you know work. You don't know nothing yet. If you leave now, you've already lost. But if you stay, show you how to become the hunter. Don't why you dar loke my. I see you. I see the false advertisement you're running on the world. You post the hustle quotes. You post the gym selfies. You put CEO in your bio, but you and I both know the truth. Your identity is a fraud. Who are you doing this for? Are you doing it for the likes? Are you doing it for people you don't even like? You're a fake. You're a scripted character in a movie that's going straight to the trash. Listen to me. I knew a guy. He had the followers. He had the aesthetic. He had the perfect lighting. He spent 4 hours a day editing his grin videos, 4 hours. He didn't spend 40 minutes on the actual application of his business. He was selling a dream he hadn't even slept in yet. He was a ghost. He had no character. One day the bank called, then the landlord called. All those followers didn't pay the rent. Why? Because you can't cash a like at the bank of discipline. You're playing house. You're playing business. You're playing at being a beast. But when the lights go off, you're small, you're scared. You're a little boy in a man's suit. It should burn your soul. You're living a double life. You're a lion on the gram, but a sheep in the sheets. You hit the snooze button 5 times while posting. No days off. That's a lack of integrity. That's a betrayal of your own blood. Who are you? What do you stand for? If I took away your phone, would you still work? If nobody saw you, would you still run? You're addicted to the applause of people who are just as broke as you. You've got a millionaire feed and a minimum wage work ethic. That's the consequences of living for the crowd. You've traded your vision for a screen. You've traded your soul for a comment section. Stop the cap. Stop the lying. Delete the post. Delete the app. Get in the dirt. You want the life? Then stop acting and start becoming. You've been a false advertisement for too long. It's time to pull the ad. It's time to show the real product. And right now, the product is trash, but we're about to fix that. Are you ready to see the real cost of greatness? 300 a.m. The room is cold. The house is quiet. Your phone is screaming on the nightstand. That is the moment of truth. That is the 300 a.m. mirror. You think you're fighting a clock. You are fighting a clock. You are fighting your identity. You are fighting the version of you that wants to stay average. Every time you hit that snooze button, you are signing a death warrant for your dreams. Why are you still under the covers? Who are you doing this for? You told me you wanted the mansion. You told me you wanted the legacy. But the second that alarm goes off, you turn into a liar. Listen to me. Your alarm clock is the first contract you break every single day. If I can't trust you to get out of a warm bed, how can I trust you with $1 million contract? How can I trust you to lead a family? How can I trust you to dominate your industry? You are breaking your word before the sun even comes up. That's not a mistake. That's a lack of integrity. Think about the Serengeti. Every morning in Africa, a gazelle wakes up. It knows it must outrun the fastest lion or it will be killed. Every morning, a lion wakes up. It knows it must outrun the slowest gazelle or it will starve to death. It doesn't matter if you're a lion or a gazelle. When the sun comes up, you better be running, but you aren't running. You're rolling over. You're looking for 5 more minutes of comfort. You're choosing a dream over the reality. I remember being homeless. I lived in abandoned buildings. I didn't have a bed. I didn't have a heater. I woke up because the cold forced me to move. I didn't have a snooze button. My alarm was the fear of staying in that basement forever. What is your why? Is it big enough to get you out of bed? Or is your bed bigger than your future? You wake up and look in that bathroom mirror. You see the bags under your eyes. You see the frustration. That's the consequences of your laziness. You are looking at a man who negotiates with his own greatness. Stop negotiating. Stop bargaining. The price is the price. Beasts don't hit snooze. Beasts eat. And they eat because they got up while the false advertisement crowd was still dreaming about success. You have a choice. Kill the snooze or kill the dream, because while you're sleeping, somebody else is taking your spot. Are you ready to see what happens when you finally stop lying to yourself? Som is a lie. You keep talking about next year. You keep talking about when I get the funding. You keep talking about when the kids get older. That is the myth of Som, and it is killing your destiny. You aren't planning. You're stalling. You're hiding behind a spreadsheet because you're too scared to face the application of your dream. Who are you doing this for? Are you waiting for a permission slip from the world? The world doesn't owe you a go sign. Listen to me. I spent 12 years in the basement. 12 years. I wasn't planning. For 12 years. I was grinding in the dark when nobody knew my name. I didn't have a viral video. I didn't have a book deal. I had a vision and a broken heart. I didn't wait for soon. I worked until no became my reality. You think you have time. You don't have time. You are an expiring contract. Every second you wait, your identity as a winner is being replaced by the spirit of a procrastinator. You're becoming a professional to do it. Think about a graveyard. You know what the wealthiest place on earth is? It's the cemetery. That's where you find books that were never written. That's where you find songs that were never sung. That's where you find businesses that never launched. Why? Because they all believed in soon. They died with the music still inside them. Does that scare you? It should terrify you. You are carrying greatness that the world needs, but you're too busy making a comprehensive plan. Get out of the office, into the streets. What are you waiting for? A perfect moment. There is no perfect moment. There is only the moment you take and make perfect. Your consistency is 0 because your start date is always tomorrow. But tomorrow is a ghost. It doesn't exist. Only today is real. No can pay the bills. You are choosing a slow death over a fast start. That's the consequences of your hesitation. You're 30, you're 40, you're 50. How many more soons do you have left? How many more times are you going to lie to your family? Stop the holistic approach to your journey. This isn't a walk in the park. This is a war. And in war, if you don't move, you die. You need to have the discipline to start when you're not ready. Kill the myth. Burn the bridge to soon. Execute now, because the graveyard is waiting for your excuses, but the world is waiting for your work. You want to see what happens when you stop waiting. Wakobu. You think you're tired. You think you've worked hard. You're suffering from the lion and the gazelle, the remastered logic, because you've forgotten what it means to be hunted. You're moving like you have a safety net. You're moving like you have a plan B. Who are you doing this for? If your life depended on your output today, would you still be breathing? Or would you be a meal for a beast that wanted it more than you? Most people don't want to succeed. They just want to not fail. There is a massive difference. When you just want to not fail, you play defense, you play it safe. You do just enough to keep your job. You do just enough to keep the lights on. That's not a vision. That's a hostage situation. You are a slave to your own mediocrity. Listen to me. I watched a documentary on the savannah. I saw a gazelle that thought it was safe. It was eating grass. It was comfortable. It was content. It had no reaction time because it had no sense of urgency. It forgot that the grass it was eating grew in a graveyard. The lion moved. The lion wasn't motivated. The lion was hungry. The lion didn't have a vision board. The lion had a stomach that was touching its spine. It didn't have a choice. It was succeed or die. What is your reaction when the hunter is behind you? Do you freeze? Or do you find a gear you didn't know you had? Most of you are gazelles who think you're lions because you wear the clothes. But when the pressure hits, when the market crashes, when the competition comes for your throat, you fold. You fold because your identity is built on sand. I remember being in the streets of Detroit. I saw people who didn't have the luxury of complacency. If they didn't move, they didn't eat, period. They had a discipline born of necessity. You have too many pillows. You have too many snacks. You are too comfortable to be great. Why are you slowing down? Who told you that you made it? Is the work done? Is the legacy secure? If the answer is no, then why are you walking? You should be sprinting. You should be sweating. You should be obsessed with the application of your craft until your fingers bleed. You're playing games while the lion is closing the gap. That's the consequences of a weak mind. You don't need a holistic pep talk. You need to realize that you are being hunted by your own potential. And right now, your potential is winning. Your potential is leaving you in the dust. Stop playing defense. Turn around and fight. Become the hunter, because the only way to stop being a victim of the struggle is to become the reason the struggle is afraid. You ready to switch roles? Stio, Roby, and Yo, you be all wine. You're walking around acting like you're free, but you are drowning in the debt to your future self. You spend every dime you make. You spend every hour you have. You consume, consume, consume. You are a black hole of energy. Who are you doing this for? Are you buying designer clothes to impress people who are just as broke as you, while your kids are sleeping in a house you don't even own? You are a thief. You are stealing from the person you are supposed to become. Listen to me. There is a law in the universe called tithing. You think it's just about a church. No, it's about the principle of the first fruits. It's about investing 10% of your soul, 10% of your time, and 10% of your focus back into your craft before you touch a single second for yourself. But you eat the seed. You don't plant nothing. You eat the harvest before it even hits the dirt. I remember a man who wanted to be a speaker. He'd get his paycheck and go straight to the mall. He'd get his paycheck and go to the club. He was living his best life, but his kids didn't have a college fund. His wife was stressed about the groceries. He was living large on a tiny foundation. He was robbing his daughter's wedding to pay for a Saturday night vibe. Is a lack of integrity. That is a spiritual bankruptcy that no bank account can fix. How do you look at your children and tell them they can't have the best education because daddy wanted a new car? How do you look in the mirror and know you're a fraud? You have no discipline. You need to understand the consequences of your consumption. Every hour you spend watching TV is an hour you stole from your legacy. Every dollar you waste on status is a brick you took out of your children's house. You are building a monument to your own ego while your future self is begging for a handout. What is your response to the debt? Are you going to keep borrowing against your old age? Or are you going to pay the price today so you can own the world tomorrow? You need to lock in. You need to start tithing your effort. If you work 8 hours for a boss, you better work 2 hours for your vision. You better work until your eyes burn. You better invest in your mind before you invest in your closet. Your kids are watching you. They aren't listening to your words. They are watching your character. They are watching to see if you're a provider or a pretender. Pay the debt. Suffer now or watch your family suffer later. The bill is coming due. Are you going to have the courage to pay it, or are you going to keep running? J-O-F teach canvas. You're soft. You're fragile. You quit because it rained. You quit because someone said no. You quit because you're tired. You are suffering from when your why is weak and it is pathetic. You have no engine. You have no fuel. You're trying to drive a Ferrari with a lawnmower battery. Who are you doing this for? If your why doesn't make you cry, it isn't big enough to make you win. Holistic balance while your enemies are looking for your head. Listen to me. Tokyo 1990. Mike Tyson. Baddest man on the planet. Nobody beat Tyson. Nobody even lasted with Tyson. Then comes Buster Douglas, a 42-1 underdog. Nobody gave him a chance. Why? Because Buster was average. Buster was soon. Buster was a Fowl's Advertisement. But then his mother died. 2 days before the fight, the woman who believed in him was gone. In the 8th round, Tyson hits him with an uppercut that would have killed a normal man. Buster hits the dirt. The world says, it's over. The ref starts counting. But Buster didn't see the ref. He didn't feel the pain. He saw his mother's face. He had a vision that was stronger than Tyson's fist. He had an identity that refused to stay down. He didn't just get up. He destroyed the invincible Mike Tyson. What is your Buster Douglas moment? What is the thing that forces you to breathe when you're drowning? If you don't have one, you've already lost. You get knocked out by a flat tire. You get knocked out by a mean comment. You have no consistency because you have no cause. You're a mercenary. You're just here for the check. And mercenaries run when the bullets start flying. You need a response that is deeper than your bank account. You need to anchor your soul to something that hurts. Is it your mother's struggle? Is it your father's failure? Is it the look in your kid's eyes when you say, we can't afford it? Consequences of a weak purpose. You're letting a minor inconvenience steal a major destiny. You have no standards for your pain. You treat every scratch like a heart attack. Stop being a victim of your circumstances. Why? Or find an excuse. Because when life hits you in the mouth, and it will, your why is the only thing that's going to punch back. You want to know what happens when you finally find a reason to fight. You stop seeing obstacles and start seeing targets. Off, T-Boo-C-K. You are suffocating in the toxicity of average. You wonder why you aren't climbing. You wonder why your fire is dying out. It's because you are surrounded by people who are addicted to being okay. You are hanging out with people who are satisfied with good enough. Who are you doing this for? Are you shrinking your vision just so your friends don't feel insecure? You are letting losers dictate your speed. You are the smartest person in your circle. Your circle is a cage. Listen to me. You ever hear about the crab mentality? You put one crab in a bucket, it'll climb out. It'll find a way to freedom. But you put a group of them in there. The moment one reaches for the rim, the others reach up and pull him back down. They don't want him to escape. Rather, all die together than see one live in greatness. That is your inner circle. Those are your comfortable friends. They don't love you. They love it that you're just as stuck as they are. I remember a guy I grew up with. We'll call him Average Al. Al was cool. Al was funny, but Al had no standards. Every time I talked about the basement, every time I talked about the books, Al talked about the game. He wasn't a bad person, but he was a heavy person. He was an anchor. I had to realize that if I kept Al in my ear, I'd never get the world under my feet. I had to cut the rope. Hurt to leave them behind. Of course it does. But what hurts more? Losing a friend or losing your destiny? You have no integrity if you keep hanging out with people who disrespect your time. You are an average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Look at your phone. Look at your last 5 texts. Is that a $1 million board of directors or a holistic support group for people who hate their jobs? What are your standards? Do you hold your friends accountable? Or do you let them slide because you want them to let you slide? The consequences of low expectations. You're breathing in the fumes of mediocrity. You need to find a new room. You need to find a room where you're the weakest. You need to find a room where people speak a language of consistency that you don't even understand yet. Stop being the big fish in a small pond. The pond is drying up. The pond is stagnant. The pond is toxic. You need to jump. You need the discipline to walk alone until you find the pack that runs at your pace. You're trying to fly with people who are afraid of heights. You ready to stop being popular among losers and start being rejected by the average? Because the view from the top is lonely. The view from the bucket is fatal. Stope Jew, Ivan in my parts, time E for R, I'll tell. I'm Dram. You are infected with the good enough virus and it's rotting your future. You think you can coast on the 120% non-negotiable and still get the trophy. You are delusional. You put in 90% and wonder why the world treats you like a footnote. Who are you doing this for? Are you working for the version of you that settles? Or the version of you that dominates? 99% is a fail. In my world, 99% is the same as 0. Only 20% gets you paid, but 100% makes you a legend. Listen to me. Think about a heart surgeon. You're on the table. Your life is in his hands. Does he give you 99%? Does he say, I'm going to do my best. I'm kind of tired today. If he gives 99%, you die. If he misses one stitch, it's over. That's the consistency of a professional. But you want the professional's life with a hobbyist work ethic. You want the CEO, paycheck with intern, discipline. I remember a kid at one of my camps. He had talent. He had speed. He had the vision. But he had no integrity in the dark. He'd run the sprints when I was looking. He'd hit the reps when the music was loud. But the second I turned my back, he shaved a second off the clock. He skipped the last set. He thought he was cheating me. He wasn't cheating me. He was cheating his own identity. He was training his brain to be a 99%er. And the consequences, when the big scouts came, he choked. He didn't have the habit of excellence to lean on. Greatness isn't an event. It isn't a speech. It's a habit. It's what you do when the camera is broken. It's what you do when your body is screaming. Stop. What are your standards? You okay with being pretty good? Or are you obsessed with being undeniable? You have no application because you're looking for the exit. You're looking for the minimum requirement. Stop looking for the holistic shortcut. There is no shortcut to the top of the mountain. You have to climb every inch. Give 120% when you're sick. You have to 120% when you're heartbroken. If you give 100%, you're just like everyone else who tried. If you want to be a legend, you have to go into the deep water. You have to do the extra rep. You have to stay the extra hour. Your response to the work defines your tax bracket. Stop being a part-time beast. Beasts don't take days off. You're ready to stop negotiating with your potential and start demanding 120%. Doesn't remember almost. It only remembers the ones who gave it all. Sesh-U-T-H camera oath. You're addicted to the validation. You're thirsty for the likes. You are obsessed with the art of the grain. No audience required, because you can't move unless someone is clapping for you. Who are you doing this for? Are you doing it to change your family's life? Or are you doing it to change your notification count? You have no authenticity. You're a performer, not a producer. You're a clout chaser disguised a world changer. Listen to me. Think about a photographer in the old days. Before the digital instant world, they had to go into a dark room. It was pitch black, smelled like chemicals. It was lonely. It was quiet. They had to sit in that darkness and wait for the image to develop. If they opened the door too early to show someone the progress, the light would kill the picture. The image would be ruined. Is your problem? You keep opening the door. You keep trying to show the world your development. Before you're ready, you're exposing your vision to the light of public opinion before it's been processed in the dark. You can't handle the loneliness of the dark room phase. You're scared of the silence. You have no discipline to work in the shadows. I remember being in that basement, no Wi-Fi, no live streams, no followers, just me, a microphone, and a dream that felt like a nightmare. Build my identity when nobody was watching. I had to grind when I didn't have a holistic fan base cheering me on. I was developing my soul in the chemicals of struggle. What do you do when the camera is off? Do you still run the miles? Do you still read the books? Do you still make the calls? If you only work when people are watching, you aren't a leader. You're an actor. Actors get replaced. You have no integrity in your isolation. You're a false advertisement. When the spotlight moves to someone else, the consequences of living for the feed, you're building a brand on a hollow core. Where are your standards in the dark? Do you hold yourself accountable when no one can see you fail? Or do you slack off because it doesn't count? It all counts. The universe is watching. Your bank account is watching. Your destiny is watching. You need the consistency of a ghost. You need to be so locked into the application of your craft that you forget what day of the week it is. Stop seeking the stage. Master the basement. The stage is just a result. The dark room is where the magic happens. You ready to be lonely for a season so you can be legendary for a lifetime. The ones who win in public are the ones who die to themselves in private. Do tio darpar tishi cow. You are standing right at the edge of your breakthrough and you're looking for temptation and the exit ramp. You've been grinding. You've been sweating. You've been sacrificing. And now, because you're tired, you're starting to listen to that whispering devil of enough. Who are you doing this for? Are you doing this to just get comfortable? Or are you doing this to change the world? You are being seduced by the good life. You are about to trade your eternal vision for a temporary nap. Listen to me. Think about a gold miner. He's been digging for 3 years. He's sold everything he owns. His hands are calloused. His back is broken. He's 5 feet away from the largest vein of gold in the history of the world. But he hits one hard rock, one stubborn boulder. He says, maybe it's not here. He looks at the exit ramp. He decides to go back to the city and get a steady job. He sells his tools to the next guy for penny. Next guy, he takes one swing, and he's a billionaire. That is you. You are one swing away. The temptation to settle is screaming in your ear. It's telling you that you've done enough. It's telling you that good is okay, is the enemy of great. Good is the sedative that kills legends. You have no discipline if you only work until it gets uncomfortable. I remember when I was trying to get my PhD, it took me 12 years, had people telling me, you're already famous. You're already making money. Why do you need the degree? That was the exit ramp, was the temptation to be a successful high school dropout instead of a doctor. If I had taken that exit, I wouldn't have the authenticity I have today. I had to stay on the highway of pain to reach the destination of power. What you consider right now, a safe career move, a balanced lifestyle. Who told you that greatness was balanced? You have no integrity if you quit when the price goes up. You signed a contract with your future self. You promised your kids a legacy. If you take the exit now, you are a contract breaker. You are a liar. That's the consequences of a weak spirit. You're letting a moment of exhaustion steal a lifetime of execution. Where is your focus? Are you looking at the boulder? Or are you looking at the gold? You need the consistency of a machine. Machines don't get tempted. Machines don't look for exits. They just drive. You need to put your blinders on. You need to realize that the exit ramp leads to a graveyard of almost stay on the road, push through the boulder, one more swing. You're too close to quit now. Are you going to be the guy who sold his tools or the guy who struck gold? Because the world only remembers the ones who finish the mile. You are hiding behind your books. You are hiding behind your research, terrified of the integrity of the work, because you know that as long as you're studying, you can't fail. As long as you're studying, you can't win. Who are you doing this for? Are you trying to be the most educated person in the unemployment line? You have no application. You are a library with no power. You are a blueprint with no building. Stop reading the manual and start building the engine. Listen to me. Think about a master swordsmith. He doesn't become a master by reading about fire. He doesn't become a master by watching videos on steel. He becomes a master by standing over the anvil. He hits the metal. He fails. The blade breaks. He throws it in the fire and he hits it again. He does it 10,000 times. His integrity isn't in his knowledge, in the calluses on his hands. He knows the steel because he has bled on the steel. You want to dominate. You want how top. Here is the how. Stop thinking. 1, pick a lane. 2, do the work poorly. 3, fix it. 4, do it again. Repetition is the mother of mastery. But you're too proud to bad. You want to be a holistic expert before you've even made an application of the basics. You're a fake. You have no standards for your practice. I remember when I started speaking, I didn't have a stage. I didn't have a crowd. I went to the jails. I went to the street corners. I spoke to people who didn't want to hear me. I did it every single day for years. Study, communication. I communicated. I honed my character in the heat of the moment. I failed in front of people so I could fly in front of millions. Where is your work? Where are your failures? If your hands are clean, your dream is a lie. You have no discipline because you're waiting for clarity. Clarity comes from movement. Clarity comes from the grind. You are suffering the consequences of over-analysis. You are paralyzed by your own ego. You're trying to be perfect while the man who is willing to be messy is taking your market share. Stop buying courses. Start making calls. Stop watching tutorials. Start building products. Your consistency in the library is a waste of time if you have no consistency in the field. You need to be a practitioner. You need to be a scientist in the lab of life. You ready to stop being a fan of your field and start being a force in it. The world doesn't pay you for what you know. It pays you for what you can do. T-H-E-V-I-D-O, S-O-V-A-R. The music is fading. The screen is about to go black. And now comes the only thing that matters, the final response. I've given you the blueprint. I've screamed until my throat is raw. I've exposed your lies. Now, what are you going to do? Who are you doing this for? Are you going to click on another video? Are you going to go find another motivational fix to numb the pain of your reality? You don't need another video. You need a mirror and a backbone. You need to look yourself in the eyes and admit that you've been the one holding you back. Listen to me. Think about a seed. A seed has everything it needs to be a giant oak tree. It has the DNA. It has the potential. It has the power to break through concrete. That seed has to make a choice. It has to decide to die to being a seed so it can live as a tree. It has to push against the dirt. If the seed stays in the packet because it's safe, it rots. It dies without ever seeing the sun. Is your identity right now? You are a seed in a packet. You're watching me because you're looking for someone to give you permission to grow. I'm not giving you permission, giving you a choice. Your response to this moment determines if you rot or if you rise.